Hello, I'm Dr. Larry Carnes, and welcome to Spotlight TV. We're so honored to have a special guest with us today, Rian McMurtry, and he's going to share with us the information about some books that he's written. We're so excited to have you as our guest today, Rian. Welcome, and how are you today?
Thank you. I'm doing well.
Excellent. Why don't you take a few minutes and introduce yourself and tell our viewers a little bit about yourself?
Okay. I am a California native, and I wrote the books with the NaNoWriMo National Novel Writing contest. It's mostly just a matter of trying to write everything in a month.
Wow.
And I'm not very good at self-promotion.
Well, you're doing an excellent job. So share with us about the book. Talk to us about the books that you've written and share that with our viewers.
Okay. The first one is called Between Light and Dark. It is a young adult, well, it's a young adult series. So, and I wrote each book as a year of high school. So the first one is the freshman year, the second one is sophomore year, or junior year, senior year. And the books follow the character of Angela Fujiwara, who is starting as a freshman, an athlete, and it details her discovery of magic, and then the second book is her learning magic. Third book is her teaching magic, and the fourth book is going out into the world and using it.
Okay. Yeah, I noticed when I looked at the books and viewed them, I saw that it was a continual process with the life, and I noticed that it was teenagers, young people. So what inspired you to write about young people and that adventure?
It wasn't anything in particular. It was more, it seemed like the way to go.
Okay.
It just seemed to flow more easily from me than some other genre.
Oh, powerful. So tell us this. You're writing about magic. She's learning about magic. High school student learns about magic, start practicing and doing magic, then start teaching magic. Do you have a background in magic, or are you a magician, or what was it that just drew you into that to write about that subject?
No, I'm just a fan of fantasy and sci-fi and that sort of thing. My educational background is in zoology and law, so this was more entertainment than anything else.
Okay, so you said zoology and law?
Yes.
Wow, now that's an interesting combination, zoology and law, and you write a book about magic. So share with us a little bit about the character and the progressiveness as she goes from learning magic to teaching magic. Unpack that for us a little bit.
Okay. In the first book, Angela is a fairly typical freshman teenager. She's playing football, she's taking classes, and some of the students around her are the ones who actually know what they're doing with magic, at that point.
Okay.
And at that point, the other students around her are concealing what they're doing. But as things keep happening around her, she realizes that magic is there, or something weird is going on, and they let her in on the fact of what they're doing. And at the end of that book, she decides she wants to learn it herself.
Uh-huh.
So she apprentices herself to one of the students. So in the second book, A Light in the Darkness, she is slowly learning how to use her power. And at the end of that book, the others say, we can't really teach you all that much more. You're equivalent to the rest of us, and but one of her friends has realized that the magic is going on and wants to learn, so she agrees to teach her friend. So in the third book, it's the process of her teaching her friend and her friend's progressions in learning magic, and Angela's experience with a boyfriend, and the rest of living life as a high school junior. And in the fourth book, her friend has been graduated to full status with the rest of them. And it's time to go out and use their magic, as people do expand out into the world a bit more in their senior year of high school.
Okay. Now you say, okay, so you talked about her playing football.
Yeah.
Now, are you talking about what type? When you say football, is that soccer or is that football?
American football.
American football. Okay, so
He's a wide receiver.
She plays wide receiver, American football.
Yeah.
She discovers that some of the other members of the team and friends are doing something that gets her attention, but they keep it concealed from her.
Yep.
She starts to inquire and gets interested. Now, let me ask you this. You talk about they start using their magic. What does it mean when how did they start using their magic?
Well, the instance that really lets her know what's going on, that something really weird is going on, is when she and a couple of the others are going on a dive in Monterey Bay.
Okay.
And there is an attack that leads one of her friends to that it tears her air hose out, and one of her friends puts his air hose on her, and she sees he's got gills and tail flukes instead of flippers. So something is going on. And once they get her out of the boat is where those two explain what's actually going on.
Okay, wow, that's interesting. So there was an incident that took place, an emergency that took place, and then she saw another side that
Yeah.
she had not been introduced to. So now, how does she progress and learn to practice whatever they're practicing?
Well, like I said, at the end of the first book, she asks for training.
Okay.
And the person she asks is someone she hasn't really gotten along with so far, but he's got a very dangerous specialty, and she thinks, if I know how to do that, nobody's going to mess with me.
Wow. Wow. So what? Okay. So I'm putting these pieces together, doing that. You're a lawyer, and then your other background. So, but now you write this. Would it be called a fictional series involving young people and this young person's life through high school, coming into the knowledge of magic because of the friends surrounded and things of that nature? And so with that being what attracted you to that just the essence that would inspire you to write these 4 books?
Well, part of it was actually setting up the deities for my D&D campaign for a Dungeons and Dragons game.
Okay.
And the eventual 13 young people were the people I was setting up as the gods of the world. So it was fun and entertaining, and I'd been in and out of the hospital quite a bit, so I was had time to write and was able to do so.
Okay, wow. So that's interesting how you had that time and you started to write, and it's a gift evidently that you developed over time. We have 1 minute left. Where can people, if they're interested in purchasing your books or contacting you, share with us within the 1 minute that we have left how people can purchase your books or contact you?
They are at Amazon, I believe Barnes and Noble as well, and there's some other places that are doing it, but I'm not remembering off the top of my head besides those 2.
Okay, well, wow, that's awesome. That's awesome. So Ryan, we really do appreciate you being on with us. Interesting to to hear the series and the progression of those books. Thank you for being our guest today here on Spotlight TV. And we're just excited and looking forward to some more writings that you may have. So I'm Dr. Larry Carnes. This has been our special guest, Rian McMurtry. And follow him, go to Amazon, look up his books. This has been Spotlight TV. I'm your host, Dr. Larry Carnes, and we look forward to seeing you on our next broadcast.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome.